Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to create a clear, simple map for the incredibly crowded, and let's be honest, often confusing world of artificial intelligence.
So, if you've ever felt lost in this jungle of tech buzzwords, you are definitely in the right place. Let's just dive in and cut through all that noise. We've got a clear plan to guide you. We'll start with the great AI mix-up. Then we'll look at the big picture with the AI umbrella. After that, we dive into machines that learn, the deep learning shift, and models and their creations, before putting it all together in your complete AI map.
All right, first up, let's just start by acknowledging the challenge here. I mean, these terms are thrown around all the time, right? And often they're used interchangeably, but they actually represent very distinct, very important ideas.
Okay, so to clear things up, we're going to start at the very top. Think of this as the parent field, the giant umbrella that contains literally everything else we're going to talk about.
So at its absolute core, artificial intelligence, or AI, is this grand, decades-old mission to create machines that can think and reason like us. You know, it's the big dream that really started it all. And that's a really important thing to remember. AI is not new. This quest started way before the current hype. I mean, you had systems like ELIZA, way back in the 1960s, that were already attempting these primitive, human-like conversations. It's been a long, evolving journey. So like I said, just think of AI as that giant umbrella. Every other term we're going to discuss, machine learning, LLMs, all of it, fits neatly right underneath it as a specialized subfield.
Now, let's zoom in a little bit. Underneath that big AI umbrella, we find our first major subfield, machine learning. And really, this is the most dominant approach to achieving AI today.
So what does that actually mean? Well, instead of a developer writing a rule that says, hey, if an email has this word, it's spam, machine learning is about showing the system millions of emails and letting it figure out the patterns of spam for itself. It actually learns from experience.
And what's really interesting is how these machines learn. There are three main ways. You've got supervised learning, which is kind of like learning with an answer key. Then there's unsupervised learning, where it finds hidden patterns all on its own. And then you have reinforcement learning, which is all about trial and error. Think of the famous AlphaGo system.
Next up, inside of machine learning, something truly revolutionary happened. A technique emerged that completely changed the game, especially for handling complex, messy, real-world data. And that technique is deep learning. It's a subset of machine learning that uses these structures called neural networks. And the deep part? That simply means the network has many layers, kind of functioning like a very simplified model of the human brain.
And this right here illustrates the key difference. Traditional ML is fantastic for neat, organized data, stuff in a spreadsheet. But deep learning, it unlocked the ability to process all the messy, unstructured stuff that makes up our digital world. Images, audio, all that text.
This breakthrough was so huge that researchers called it a paradigm shift. Why? Because deep learning could handle these massive, diverse data sets. We could finally move away from building single-task AIs and instead create these huge, adaptable, general-purpose systems that we now call foundation models.
Which brings us to the terms you hear about every single day. Let's talk foundation models, LLMs, and generative AI and see exactly where they fit in our map. So, a large language model, or an LLM, is a specific type of foundation model. It's been trained on a mind-boggling amount of text, books, articles, websites, which makes it an expert at understanding, summarizing, and generating human language. But, and this is a crucial point, LLMs are just one piece of the puzzle. Foundation models can be specialized for all sorts of things: vision models for images, scientific models for discovering molecules, and audio models for creating music. It's not all just about text.
So what about generative AI? Where does that fit in? This is a key distinction. It is not another box in our hierarchy. It's the action. It's the creative process these foundation models perform. It's what they do, not what they are.
Okay, now that we have all the pieces, let's zoom back out and put it all together into one clear picture. And here it is, our entire journey, laid out as a simple hierarchy. You start with the broad field of AI. Inside that, you have the approach of machine learning. A key technique within that is deep learning, which enables us to build these huge foundation models, of which LLMs are just one specific type. See how it all connects?
And this slide right here is your definitive cheat sheet. It's the map that shows exactly how each concept relates to the others, from its core idea to a simple example. Hopefully, no more confusion.
So, we have our map of the AI landscape, and understanding these distinctions, that's the critical first step. But this all leads to the real question. Now that we know the lay of the land, what are we going to build on it?